West Ham United welcome Nottingham Forest to the London Stadium today in the 2 o'clock kickoff, where it's a huge game as the home side West Ham United are looking to avoid defeat at the absolute minimum after 4 defeats in the last 5 in the Premier League. To go into the international break with 3 points would just be a massive boost for the fan base, the team, and everybody involved. And that hopefully is today's objective. And I hope you are well. Thank you very much indeed for joining me for this match build-up show. West Ham versus Nottingham Forest. And yeah, I'm a little bit nervous because it's a huge game today, as it was in this fixture last year at the London Stadium. We came out on top, of course, of a 4-0 victory. Danny Ings scoring 2 of his only goals in a West Ham United shirt to seal victory with a superb goal from number 41 and a goal from Antonio in there as well. A similar result today would be absolutely brilliant, but I just can't see it currently. But look, we've got to have some positivity going into this. So I'm not sure where I'm getting the positivity from, but because Forest are a decent side. The thing I say about Forest, and we say it most weeks on the Roundup show, is they're a different side away from home to what they are at home. You know, I really wouldn't be fancying us going up to the City Ground today. It's a brilliant atmosphere up there. They're a good side at home. But as soon as they leave that place, as soon as they go away from home, they seem to be a different team. And I think that's what Moyes has got to exploit today. Moyes has got to be a little bit wise about things and know what they're going to do. They're going to West Ham today. They're going to want to sit 10 men behind the ball and concede 80% possession like we'll want to. So both teams could cancel each other out today, or Moyes might surprise us. Moyes might go, you know what, let's be a bit more proactive. We're at home. Let's get the fan base back on side. Let's go out and, stick it on them and be a bit more positive and be assertive. But yeah, I just can't see it. Hopefully today we can get that. Let's see who is joining us. So Austin, come on your minds. Let's go, boys. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. Hope everybody is well. Lawrence, thank you very much for that video and indeed for joining us. Peter as well. Hope you are well. 3-0 to the Cockney boys. That result would be very welcome today. That is for sure. Lawrence is prepping his smoker for a chuck roast cook today. Enjoy that, Larry. Enjoy that. Peter says Forest have been unlucky with some results away from home, like at Arsenal and Man United. Yeah, for sure. You know, they've had some difficult games away from home. They did beat Chelsea. That's not much of an achievement nowadays, is it? But they beat Chelsea away from home, and they've played some of the big boys away as well. I think they got a goalless draw against Palace, which is the only sort of maybe winnable game that they could have had away from home so far this season. But they're a side that stayed up by adapting their tactics last year, and they stayed up quite comfortably in the end. And you know, I think I admire what Steve Cooper has done there, and especially watching them last week against Villa at home, they've made that place a bit of a fortress. It's a really difficult place to go, the City Ground, as we found out at the start of last season. They've made it a really nasty place to go. It's a dominant atmosphere. It's hostile, and they showed that to Villa last week. And Villa weren't very good, don't get me wrong, but I thought Forest were excellent. They've signed some, they've made a lot of bad signings, but a few of the signings they have made have been really good. I mean, Morgan Gibbs-White in midfield, everybody turned their nose up at 30 or 40 million pounds they paid for him. I think he's been excellent. They've got a lot of pace, they've got a lot of flair, but it's just whether all of that can come together. They brought in Elanga in the summer from Manchester United, who was a bit so-so, was a bit inconsistent at Man United, and it seems like he stayed that way at Forest, but is still a pretty good player and did cause us some problems when he was in a Manchester United shirt in the last couple of seasons. So there's no doubt that they brought in some players with some quality there, and there are some players who are going to hurt us. That Awuyini that they've got up front, a big, a strong, an athletic, and a dominant number 9. He could cause us some problems today, especially if Kurt Zouma is not available. So this back line have got to be switched on today, because they have got some attack, some really good threatening attacking players. I believe Cheku Kouyaté is at Nottingham Forest at this moment in time, which is interesting. So maybe we can welcome him back to the former club. There's some murmurings about a lineup, and I've heard the word Danny Ings. I'm not gonna confirm or deny it, but a few people have mentioned Danny Ings on Twitter, which is concerning me currently. But I'm just gonna wait. We've got another 10 minutes, to put us out of our misery and see what Moyes has opted for today. Let's see who else was joining us. Pete, thank you very much indeed for being with us. Michael as well. Hope you well. Morning. It's just about afternoon. You've just missed the morning. Morning, Richard and Jake. A win today. Moyes' neck. It certainly is. Yeah, it certainly is. Moyes needs a result today for sure. I look forward to seeing that, Larry. I look forward to seeing that. Peter says we wouldn't beat Chelsea now or get a draw at Palace. That's a very good point. Yeah, that is a very good point. They are currently sat just below us in the Premier League table, but if they beat us today, they go back above us again. They are currently on 13 points and we're on 14 points. Worst come to worst, if we lose today, we could be down to 16th in the Premier League table. But then again, if we win, we could then be up to 9th. The table is very congested at the moment. That's a huge swing for a 3 points. If we win today, we're back up into the top half. If we lose today and results don't go the way we want it to, we could be down with just Bournemouth, Luton, Burnley, and Sheffield United below us, which is definitely not where we want to be, and definitely not where we thought we'd be at the start. After the start we had to this season, it's all sort of unravelled for the Hammers, and Moyes, I'm hoping today has got a plan to stitch things back up again for the Hammers. Souček and Alvarez, James Ward-Prowse on the bench. I haven't seen the rumoured lineup, but there's a few concerned people on Twitter, which is concerning me currently. So yeah, it's all speculation, and we will see what Moyes goes for in about 9 minutes' time. Look, we've had no Premier League wins since September. We're 13th in the Premier League, and fans are voicing their concerns currently. And I'd just like it today for West Ham, for West Ham to do us a favour and pull their finger out and put in a dominant performance against a side that realistically away, at home, we should be beating Nottingham Forest. There's no doubt about that. The last team we beat in the Premier League was Sheffield United, as I said, all the way back at the end of September. That's a hell of a long time. I know we've had international breaks, etc. In there, but look, we should have beat Everton. We could have got something at Aston Villa if we were a little bit more switched on. Newcastle, we got a point, which in the grand scheme of things, I thought was a pretty good result. Having said that, now they seem to have unravelled in front of us. Of course, losing to Bournemouth yesterday, but I think that's mainly down to injuries. So look, up until that Newcastle game, I was still relatively happy. Losing to Villa and Everton was not good. And then, of course, losing to Brentford as well sort of angered fans even more. And we've got to get the fans, we've got to get back on side now. We can't keep losing football matches and saying on to the next and all the rest of it. We've got to start really asserting our quality back onto sides, being a little bit more proactive. And teams have done it in the past where they've just not listened to the manager and they've gone out and played the way that they want to play. And that's the way this could go, because we know what Moyes is going to do. He's going to set up similar to Steve Cooper's Nottingham Forest. Both sides are going to cancel each other out. It's going to be a really edgy, nervy, scrappy game of football. And there's probably going to be one goal in it. That's my expectation. That's what I think it's going to be today. But I'm ready to be proven wrong. I'm ready for Moyes to open the floodgates and let the likes of Kudus and Paqueta and Bowen and whoever else have a free role today and really have some fun and play some entertaining football. But it's just not going to happen, is it? They are quick up front. They've got some really effective, pacey players up there, which do concern me. Annie Dings, oh lordy, yeah, it's not confirmed, but I really do hope these people are wrong. That is for sure. We are 6 minutes away from getting that lineup, and yeah, we will see what we get. If it's Ings, it has to be in a 4-4-2. Yeah, that's what I thought. We've got to start someone up there with him, otherwise people might just turn around and get the first train back home. To be honest with you, Mandy says Sully won't let Ings go behind Mubama in the pecking order, as it's costing him 120 grand a week. Exactly, that's the one. I see what there was murmurings. I mean, Marco Silva was watching the West Ham Olympiacos game on Thursday night. He did used to manage Olympiacos, and we play Fulham in a couple of weeks. But a few people mentioned they might be after Danny Ings. I would pay for his cab to Fulham. I think most West Ham fans would. Let's get him to Fulham. If they want him, let's get rid of him. Absolutely. Ings plays. Who gets dropped? Benny, Bowen, or Kudus? I mean, you can't drop Bowen or Kudus. There'll be riots if he drops Bowen or Kudus today. So it would have to be Ben Rama, or it's Antonio and he starts him up front on his own. I don't know. He could either play Ings up front on his own, or he can play Ings with Antonio or Ings with Bowen in a 4-4-2 formation. That's the only way I can see this maybe working. The only way. I don't know. Peter says has to be a win today, as Burnley next to have lost all their home games. It's written in the stars, and we've got an international break, plenty of time to prepare for an away game at Burnley, who haven't won any game at all. They've won no games in the Premier League at home this season, and we will be the team that gifts them that first win. I can just see it before my very eyes. If we lose today, that means we have just lost to Everton and Forest at home. Alarm bells will be ringing. Yeah, I mean, we shouldn't be losing to Everton and Forest at home. That's the bottom line. If we want to be anywhere near the top half of the table, those are games that you simply need to win. Peter says, remember when we signed Ings and everyone said Ings can only get better? Oh, honestly. Michael says he needs to play that lineup from the Gooners game, in my opinion. I've said that ever since that game. I've said that system and those personnel should be what we should be going for going forward, because it's the only game in the last couple of months where we've looked effective. So that's what I go for. I 100% agree with you, Michael. Absolutely. If we score first, we will drop deep and wait to concede as usual. Yeah. I could see that for sure. Seeing as the under-21s don't have a game this weekend, I would have some on the bench instead of the Deadwood who are there to make up the numbers. Instead of 2 keepers and the other likes, having 4 defenders on the bench is completely unnecessary. Chuck some of them youngsters onto the bench and even just give them that experience of a first team match day. Definitely. Sully has a meeting with Mubama booked for a contract talk. Yeah, Sean Whetstone reported that last week that Steiden is going to try and sweet talk Mubama as he did with Jarrod Bowen and try and get him to sign a new contract. I don't blame him if he doesn't, to be honest with you. Pete says Moyes has this stupid mindset. If we go a goal up, Moyes won't want to carry on and punish them. We will have to sit back and invite the team on. Exactly. Yeah. A goal up, shut things up, try and win 1-0. That's what we do. And when we got that 1-goal lead at Brentford the other week, that's exactly what we did. We had the opportunity. The game was there for the taking of Brentford last week or the week before, whenever it was, and we didn't go and take it. See, it's just Moyes' tactics, isn't it? What time of the lineup's out? In 3 minutes' time, I'm expecting official confirmation of the lineup. Usual suspect. Thank you very much indeed for joining us, Joshua, as well. I hope you well. Burnley ain't good enough. I've just got a feeling that that we'll struggle up there, 0-0 draw or something like that. In terms of the lineup today, Kurt Zouma, 50-50 whether he's going to start today. If he's injured, if he's not fit, don't play him, because he's just going to aggravate that injury even more. And he is an injury-prone player, so we don't want to make anything he's already got even worse. And then sort of the back four, I'd expect Emerson there and Soufal, and then whoever the 2 centre-halves are. The midfield 3 I'd like to see is Alvarez, James Ward-Prowse, and I don't know, actually, because I suppose you could probably listen. He's going to play Souček, isn't he? Let's be honest. And then Paqueta out on the left, which I don't like. I prefer to see Paqueta in the middle. That's where he flourishes. That's where he doesn't get frustrated with himself and starts diving and chucking his arms up in the air. Kudus on one side, and then is he going to start Ings? That's the rumor. Is he going to start Bowen up front? Is it Antonio? There's so many questions that Moyes is going to answer in less than 120 seconds time for me watching live. So yeah, I am frantically refreshing the West Ham Twitter page. I am a little bit apprehensive to see what we do. See, the West Ham Twitter admin is just a little bit floating the boat out here. He's put a tweet out saying, "Who do you want to see in our starting 11?" with the eyes. So there's going to be some changes today. And I've scrolled into the comments, and the first one is not Danny Ings, which echoes my opinions wholeheartedly. But yeah, I'm a little bit bemused to what Moyes is going to do here. So I've tried to predict it as best I can what Moyes will do. I'm just a little bit unsure to a few things. Okay, Jake, do your thing. The lineup is close. I know. I'm trying to get the rumours up, but it's not loading currently. So yeah, a few people saying that team is perfect. James Ward-Prowse is in there. I've got that confirmed. Danny Ings is not starting, despite what some are saying on here. Thank God. So some saying Ings are starting, some saying they're not. Oh, you do love West Ham fans, don't you? Stir in the pot. It is lovely, isn't it? Wally, thank you very much indeed for joining us. Peter says, don't even know if I can watch. I fear the worst. Might check out a film and never see in the background. Michael says we have conceded in the first 5 minutes of the second half in 10 games now. It's the halftime team talk. Oh, it's 1 o'clock. It's the halftime team talk that is. It happened against City. It's happened before, and I hope it doesn't happen again. There's no Danny Ings. Get in there. That's what I like to see. The lineup is coming up onto your screen very shortly. I can confirm that West Ham's captain Kurt Zouma is back in to that starting lineup, and that's quite interesting actually. It is coming upon to your screen right now when I press the button. If I go there and I go there. Right, Areola in goal. It's Soufal, and Captain Kurt is back in. Agurd alongside him. Emerson, Alvarez, Ward-Prowse, Souček, Kudus, Paqueta, and Bowens. Once again, it's going to be Paqueta out wide. Oh, he hasn't started Antonio. I didn't even notice that. Moisey, what are you doing to us? So yeah, back four, and then Alvarez sitting. Souček and Ward-Prowse a little bit further up. One of them's going to have to sit alongside Alvarez, I fear, probably. And then Kudus one side, Paqueta the other, and then Bowen up front. Listen, I don't like having Paqueta out on the wing, but that's just going to be what it's going to be, unfortunately, because it's going to be either Ward-Prowse or Souček at the top of that midfield triangle, and then the two playmakers, Kudus and Paqueta, are going to be either side, with Bowen sandwiched in the middle. Or maybe, is he going to start with two up front? Maybe Kudus up there? I don't know. So we've got, if we have a sort of a 4-3, 1-2 maybe, with two men up front. I'm not sure. What are we thinking? What are we thinking about that? Let's get some of your comments. Thank God, no Ings for sure. For sure. Peter says, when you see the remembrance tributes and what is happening around the world football. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. James Ward-Prowse should have come out, and Benny in would have let Paqueta play more central. That lineup worries me. Yeah, I'm a little bit unsure. Let me change what's going on here. Can I put it there? Oh, I can. And I will go like that. 2 seconds, and I'll be with you. Right, there we go. Does that look better? We'll keep it like that. Yeah, I'm not sure actually. Don't know whether it's a 4-3-3 or whether he's going to start two up front, playing quite narrow like he has done in the past, David Moyes. Yeah, not sure. Not sure. But he hasn't started Antonio. He hasn't started Danny Ings. And I think that is two positives that we can take out of that for sure. I'm going to just move that across a little bit. Let's have a look at the subs bench, actually, see who's there. Fabianski, Ogbonna, Mavropanos, Kera, Fornals, Ings, Creswell, Benrahma, Antonio. So there's no Mubama, no Marshall, no youth players on there once again. So we've got Ogbonna, Mavropanos, Kera, and Creswell and Fabianski. So a keeper and four defensive-minded players. There's no game changers there, is there? Really, you could argue Benrahma maybe. Fornals isn't a game changer. Ings definitely isn't a game changer. Antonio's a sort of super sub. Is he a game changer? Probably not. But that, at the end of the day, is what we've got down to the bare bones, with no youth players there. Again, Moyes, that is frustrating. Why he's doing that is absolutely baffling to me, but it is what it is. Yeah, I'm interested to see how Moyes sets these players up today. That is the lineup once again, if you haven't already seen it. And yeah, so back four, a midfield three. Listen, it's probably a 4-3-3. Moyes might fluctuate it a little bit. These players might have a little bit of freedom to sort of merge around and sort of change things a little bit. So yeah, the subs bench I put up as well there, which is all good. That is a kick up the backside to Mikel Antonio. He needs to be an impact sub at best now, and he's got to be given a chance to prove it. Yeah, he spoke in the week on his podcast about how he didn't sleep the night after the Brentford game after that horrific miss, and I do think he cares. He does care, and he just hasn't been good enough. And Bowen through the middle didn't work against Brentford, if we're being totally honest with you. When he went back out onto the right, he looked so much better, but Moyes has given it another chance, and I don't mind that. I don't mind it. Something a little bit different. It's not as predictable as it could be, and yeah, we'll see what we'll see what it's like. How ready is he? That's my concern. Yeah, that's one of my main concerns. Has he just chucked Zuma back in there because he's 70 or 80% fit? If so, I don't like that at all. Back with the captain's armband, Ward-Prowse had it last week, and that didn't really work, did it? Yeah, I don't mind Kurt Zuma as captain because it did work, and he seemed to have a little bit of a vibe and a little bit of a positivity at the start of the season back into it. But yeah, he seems to have, obviously he's had an injury, but games he captained where we've lost, he seems to have disappeared a little bit into it. But if he's 80% fit, I just hope he doesn't get injured again. But it's a positive having Zuma back in there because we've been so unorganised, no communication in that back line in recent weeks. That Brentford game was a shambles defensively. And I put it down to our captain and our best defender not being there because Areola didn't talk, Agurd and Mavropanos didn't talk, and Zuma does talk. So hopefully that he can instill some stability back into this back line now to Kurt Zuma, and we can eradicate those defensive mistakes that did inevitably cost us last week in West London against Brentford. So hopefully that can go, and having those players back in there in midfield is absolutely massive. Hopefully Ward-Prowse back to a more orthodox position, a little bit more progressive for him, I think, to really get the best out of the English talisman there as well. Kudus, Bowen, just hope they keep doing their thing. And then Paqueta improves. He was given the West Ham man of the match on Thursday night, which bemused me because I didn't think he was very good apart from scoring. It was a very good goal, a really well taken goal. Hopefully that can give Paqueta a bit of confidence, but out on the wing, I don't hold much confidence in him, performing to the best of his ability because it's not his best position. It isn't. He's not wasted out on the left wing, but we aren't getting the best out of him out there, if that makes sense. So it's an interesting lineup, and if this doesn't work, then I think Moyes is completely out of ideas because this is his only plan B: drop Antonio and put Bowen in and hope for the best. So this is plan B today, and let's just hope it works. Right, let's have a look here. Predictions. Here we go. Right, predictions. I'm going to go, I think I said 1-0 yesterday, and I'm going to stick to that. 1-0 to the West Ham. I can see it coming from a corner, to be honest with you. Curtis Zuma with a welcome goal back into the side, I think. If it's not going to be from a corner, it's going to be from Kudus or Bowen, really, inevitably, isn't it? They're the only two that are keeping us afloat in the Premier League with goals at the moment. They both seem to be scoring every single week, and they're our two best players. And I can see that happening once again today. The only two players that are going to give us a little bit of positive attacking flair and quality. If anything's going to happen, it's going to come through those two players and Paqueta if he's if he's not in a rubbish mood and he can be bothered to do it, to be honest with you. So yeah, look, I'm going to go for a 1-0 West Ham win. It's not going to be pretty at all. I can't see it being a repeat of last year's 4-0 thumping. Although all four of those goals came in the last 20 minutes of the game, but hopefully Forest can unravel. We'll have a look at the Forest lineup actually whilst we're here to see what they are going with today. So bear with me. I will take that off the screen and I will get the Nottingham Forest lineup up for you. So let's do a little bit of multitasking. So yeah, I just hope that these players today prove a point because, I mean, to an extent, I don't have much sympathy for David Moyes, but let's just eradicate these individual mistakes because that's not Moyes' fault. Yes, the lineup can be Moyes' fault and all the rest of it, but at the end of the day, we just need to stop those mistakes and be a little bit more positive going forward. There is some names in this lineup, that is for sure. Right, let's bring it up onto the screen and put it there. Right, Odysseus in goal, Mangala, Sanagre, Awioini, Gibbs White as captain, Harry Tofolo, Dominiquez, Nikate, Elanga, Murillo, and Ola Enya, who did score a fantastic goal against Villa last week. So that is the Nottingham Forest lineup. I think they've. I'm a little bit confused because I thought Awioini was a centre attacking midfielder or a striker, so I thought he'd be. I don't know. Who knows? Because it looks like he's a centre half there in that picture. But on the bench, Tina Turner, Matt Turner, Williams, Cheku Kuyate returning to his former club. Hopefully he'll get a healthy reception, good servant to us, I think. Chris Wood is there as a super sub. Yates, Aurier, used to play for Spurs, isn't he? Aurier, yeah. Origi, is that Divock Origi? Danilo and Willy Bolly on the bench. There's a few players that have played in the Premier League over the years on that bench as well. Overall, I haven't got much to say about that lineup. It's there's some pace there, there's some quality, there's no doubt about it, and hopefully David Moyes has got a plan to nullify Nottingham Forest's attacking threat. That is for sure. Peter says both Alvarez and Paqueta to get booked and us to not keep a clean sheet is my prediction. Not confident of a win. Yeah, Alvarez, Paqueta to get booked, no clean sheet. I think your money's safe there, to be honest with you. We will tire Forest. We will tire as Forest had a free week. That's true. Will the European hangover kick in for West Ham again? Maybe a little bit lethargic after playing Thursday night, in which was quite a tough and we had to grind out a win in that game. It wasn't easy by any stretch of the imagination. So I know it was home. It was a home game, but still, we played midweek. They didn't. That will play a factor in the game as well. I couldn't help myself, Sharky. I couldn't help myself. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. Suchek, header incoming. Let's hope so. Sharky says, looks like a decent lineup. 2-1 to the Hammers. 2 goals from Jared Bowen, says Lawrence. 2-0, says Sharky. 2-1 to Forest. Pete isn't confident for a West Ham win. A board draw. That wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't do us any favours, but that wouldn't surprise me at all. Kudus with a worldie today. I would agree with you, but he can't keep scoring worldies every week, can he? I mean, what a goal that was against Brentford last week. at some point, these goals from Bowen and Kudus are going to dry up because they aren't going to score a goal every week, and those are the only players that are scoring goals at the moment. They aren't going to keep scoring and keep, keep us going. So goals have got to come from elsewhere. The other players have got to stand up and help our two best players in form currently. 3-1 West Ham, says Hammerhead. Thank you very much for joining us. Peter says, great to see Wood on the bench. He will come on and score as usual. Yeah, I think it was the squad numbers where they were in a Noah Origi. Hudson-Odoi was not there as well, so that was interesting. Not sure about that one. Ladies are 3-0 down at Man United at half-time. Oh dear, not a good afternoon for them. We don't need another hero, says Sharky. Is that a thing to Tina Turner? I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm guessing there. Sharky, I'm sure it was funny, but, I'm a little bit young for that. Thank you very much indeed, everybody, for watching this with the Match Build-Up Show for West Ham versus Nottingham Forest. You will join me, hopefully you can join me on the full-time whistle where I'm smiling. If not, I could lose my rag if we lose this football match. I don't often lose my rag, but I could lose it today if we do lose. So if we do lose, it'll be worth tuning in on the full-time whistle because I will not be happy. But that's not going to happen. West Ham are going to win. It's going to be controlled. It's going to be there's going to be some quality, and hopefully we can get over the line because really we need to win this football match. I'll see you on the full-time whistle. Until then, enjoy your Sunday lunch because I know mine is 3 minutes away from hitting the table. So I'm going to go. From me, come on, you irons, and I will see you soon right here on West Ham Unofficial. Thank you very much, and bye-bye. Come on, lads, do the job today. Irons.